Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 12 Vegas spread picks. The Thanksgiving picks are up in a separate video. I'm looking forward to week 12. 6-1 in our last 2 weeks. I told you guys we would pick up Pete, and that's what we're doing. This avalanche keeps riding. Let's get to the first game. Black Friday. We got the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. Fins -9.5. Money. Fins to win in the cover. We're pot committed on this. Every single time the Fins have been in this situation, we didn't do it last week against the Raiders, but anytime they're in this situation, we say win and cover. I know this Jets defense is absolutely phenomenal, and I understand maybe the Jets get a boost adding Tim Boyle in. Maybe it is like an emotional boost seeing Zach Wilson's ass on the bench. I get all that, but I just think the Fins have too much firepower, and I think they're gearing up to put up 30 in this game. Now, you always worry about the weather. I did look at the weather. I don't think it's going to be a big factor. And you have to remember, man, if Tim Boyle was so good, the Jets would have made this change 3 or 4 weeks ago. I just think it's going from another bad quarterback to another bad quarterback. And this Jets offense just can't push the Fins defensive buttons. We know you can push around this Dolphins defense a little bit. I just don't see the Jets doing it, and they're not going to be able to complete enough passes. Fins -9.5, making a money pick. Not my favorite, but we're going to have to roll with it. Next game, AFC South. We got the Jacksonville Jags at the Houston Texans. Texans +1.5. Please don't bet this game. I'm going Texans to win in the cover. And we predicted this Texans rise. But even me, the biggest Texans bandwagoner there is, I'm a little bit nervous going into this game. If it comes down to a shootout between Stroud and Lawrence, we have to remember, like, Lawrence has way more dogs than Stroud. I know Dalton Schultz and Tank Dell are playing very good football, but, I think we would all rather throw to Calvin Ridley and the assortment the Jags have. Now, you look at this Texans defense, this is the part that worries me, and this is the reason why it's not a money pick, why I'm not betting it. Texans defense still beat up. Jimmy Ward, the heartbeat of the defense, still beat up. But I just think the Texans will be able to make enough big plays in this game. I think home field advantage will help. On the Jags side, man, I really feel like you can push this Jags front seven around. We know the Texans haven't got the run game going at all this year, but I think this is a week where they start doing it. I got Texans to win. Not a lot of science here. Going to be a close game. I'm looking forward to watching this game. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the New York Giants. Giants are +3. Giants to win in the cover. Give me DeVito, man. And, who are the Patriots playing? Bailey Zapp or the rookie? I don't think it makes a difference. I think this Patriots team is bad, and I don't think they should be favorites in any game. I don't care if it's against the Giants, or I don't care if it's against the Cardinals. This Patriots team is really, really bad. Like, listen, I'm not running to go back Tommy DeVito, but one thing in this game is I'm looking at both of these defenses, and everyone always goes on to say, oh, this Pats defense, they're so good. Oh, Belichick's son's working magic. Listen, if you look at all these games this year, the Giants' defense has been better than the Pats' defense. And I'm going better defense in this game, which will be ugly, and I hope you don't watch it. Giants +3, winning the cover, upset. Please do not bet this. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles -3. Money. Eagles to win in the cover. Listen, they came through big for us on Monday night against the Chiefs. Did they play good? No. Did we see the best Eagles version? Absolutely not. But this has been the MO of the Eagles this year. Give a C-plus game and find a way to win. And I think that's what they'll do against the Buffalo Bills. And I don't think the Bills slamming around a Jets team with Zach Wilson at quarterback is enough to say for me to say they're back. And we have to stick with what we said in the preseason. We said the Bills would miss the playoffs, and I'm riding that, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And I think the Bills get rocked this game, and I don't see how they stop the Philadelphia Eagles run game. The reason why the Chiefs were so good those first 3 quarters on defense is because they stopped the run. Do you see the Bills doing that? Do the Bills got someone like Chris Jones to work the inside? I just think the Eagles play smash mouth here. I think they're going to absolutely pulverize a Bills team that is on their last leg. And I think the Eagles come in with the haymaker and put them out. And I'm not sure about Josh Allen. And I told you guys, these little trinkets that the Eagles made, these little changes they made at the trade deadline in the secondary, they're helping. And I know this isn't like the Mahomes with Tyreek Hill, but you saw this Eagles secondary is a lot better than they were earlier in the year. I'm not seeing a lot from Josh Allen. I think the Eagles win the turnover battle. Eagles winning the cover, make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Tennessee Titans. Titans are -3.5. Titans winning the cover. Listen, the fundamentals say you go Carolina at +3.5, +4 here, and I get it. But this Carolina team is reeling. You talk about a team that's on its last leg, and this Carolina Panthers team is the definition of that. This Titans team really disappointed me last week. And listen, I could make defenses for that performance against the Bucs 2 weeks ago, but what we saw out of them last week just wasn't good enough. I think the Titans winning the cover. There is no science. It's just I think Bryce Young's terrible. I think Frank Reich's terrible. Is that enough evidence for you guys? Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Thanksgiving bets are up in a separate video. Go slam that like button. Happy Thanksgiving. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh is -1. Money, money, money. Money, borderline money pick. No one get ahead of themselves here. We know the Bengals have a backup quarterback. We know the Steelers just fired Matt Canada today. Like, listen, I understand those things get people excited. They'll get you punch drunk. Listen, I'm going Pittsburgh to win in the cover. This is a borderline money pick. I don't want anyone doing anything crazy on this. But when you look at this game, man, it's guaranteed to be ugly, right? And when you talk about ugly games, you got to go with the Steelers. On Patreon, we have the Browns -1, but you saw how much we had to sweat just for that when we fully deserved it. But I think this Pittsburgh team, they're starting to run the ball, man. And when you're able to run the ball, it makes your quarterback position look better, and it gives your defense a rest. So I just think when it comes down to Pittsburgh or Cincy, I'm asking, okay, who's going to do the little things? Who's going to run the ball better? Who's going to take care of the football better? I'm going Pittsburgh, and we got to look at the emotional state of this Bengals team. I'm not trying to be a sap or Dr. Phil, but listen, you got your talesman, you got your leader, Joe Burrow, out for the year. That has to have some sort of effect. And really, if you thought about it, like with Burrow, they were on their way to beat the Ravens, and now you're back at level 1 and the season's over. I think Pittsburgh comes in. Pittsburgh plays good defense. They win the damn game. Borderline money pick because you know betting Pittsburgh's never fun. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. Saints are +1. Saints winning the cover. Yeah, and I could be falling in a trap here. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I could be falling into the trap. But I got Saints to win in the cover. And like we've been saying all year, like the Saints are like an old decaying empire. Like kind of like the Ottoman Empire. Like we all kind of know they're done, but they can put in 1 or 2 good performances and they don't think they're done either. They're still spending money thinking they're big dogs. But I think the Saints win this game, and it's because the Falcons' quarterback position has been absolutely terrible. You know, Ritter's been terrible, but you throw in Heineke, he has 3 straight possessions against the Vikings with a turnover, And you're just not going to win games like that. And we just haven't seen this Arthur Smith offense take off. And he barely gets the ball to Bijan Robinson. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to push around the Saints front seven. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to throw it on the Saints back four. So when I'm looking at this game, I just think the Saints play better football. Saints play more disciplined football. Saints win in the cover in the Georgia Dome or Mercedes-Benz Dome, right? Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals minus 1.5. Cardinals to win in the cover. I really like them this game. I really like them. And I'm not taking anything away from the Rams. And that was a good win against the Hawks. But, you know, they're down 10 points. Geno tears some sort of tricep muscle. And then they get Drew Lock and then they turn around the game and win it. But I don't think Kyle Murray's going to leave this game injured, and I don't think the Rams have solved a lot of their issues. And one thing the Cardinals are able to do on defense is they're able to get pressure. Can they cover anyone? Hell no. They haven't covered anyone the whole year. But I do think the Cardinals are able to get pressure, and the best way to get in Stafford, to get in Stafford's rhythm is you got to hit him. I think the Cardinals win this game. I think the home field advantage is big, and I don't think this Rams team is as good as the books think. I know the books really respect the Rams, and we've driven in to bet them this year. I just think the books overvalue them a lot. I'm going Cardinals winning the cover. Pew, 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 Jonathan Gannon. Next game, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Denver Broncos. Browns plus 2.5. Money, money, money. Money. I can't believe we're doing this again. We have to do it, though. We have to do it. Browns to win in the cover. The money picks on the plus 2.5, like it was last week with the Vikings. Now, listen. DTR was absolutely terrible against the Steelers. Patreon users, I'm sure you lost probably about 2 or 3 liters of just sweat and waste coming off your body watching that game. But listen, the fundamentals stay the same. Like I told you last week, this Broncos offense is garbage. And just because Russell's playing like a little bit better than last year, it doesn't mean this offense is effective. It doesn't mean this offense is good. Now, the same thing with the Browns. Now, you saw last week, the first 3 quarters, the Vikings were running the ball very, very well against that Broncos front 7. I think that's what the Browns do. I think they get smash mouth, and I think they run it 65 to 70% of the time. We have to see more DTR on zone reads. Stefanski has to work in his mobility, and I believe with a full week to get the kid ready, he will be ready. And we also have to remember this Broncos team just isn't very good. And that's why the Vikings were able to cover. Like, no matter what, this Broncos team is not very good. And you got to look at it. Like, the strength of the Broncos now is their defense. They got rid of Deadwood, and they're playing good defense. It's just, which defense do you take in this game? I'm taking the Browns defense, making a money pick. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Las Vegas Raiders. Pierce, Raiders plus 9. Raiders to cover, Chiefs to win. I really like the Raiders this one. I don't know about you guys. I will, Patreon users, this might be one I throw up later in the week. But I just like what this Raiders team is doing, and I like how they're playing with desire, passion, and physicality. And then we got a Chiefs team that, like I've been saying the whole year, they are missing something. Yes, their defense has been phenomenal this year, but you take away Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has a down night. Do you trust any of these receivers? Do you trust Kadarius Toney? Do you trust Rice? Do you trust Watson? I certainly don't. And this Raiders defense has been underrated the whole damn year. Josh McDaniels' offense would go 3 and out, and they're on the field again. But now that the Raiders' offense is playing a little bit better, you're seeing this Raiders' defense rested, and they're making plays. I really like the Raiders to cover here. I think the Chiefs win by 6 or 7, but 9 is an awful lot in Las Vegas. That crowd better be ready to go. And Raiders fans, we got a lot of you guys, but you guys got to stop selling tickets in that Las Vegas stadium. Get everyone in there. Make it a Raiders home field. Raiders cover, Chiefs win. Next game, Monday Night Football. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Los Angeles Chargers. Ravens are minus 3.5. Ravens to win in the cover. Listen, man, The Chargers losing last week, I think, was the death blow for them. Brandon Staley should have been fired. And that's, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. And if you're the Chargers owner, if you're part of the Spanos family, you got to fold them. Because either way, the Ravens are absolutely going to pulverize them. We know what that's going to be. We know the Ravens are going to run it for 150. We know Lamar's going to scamper for 2 touchdowns. It's probably going to be like a 27-14 type game. Chargers will do something on offense, but like you saw last week, they can't make the big play. They can't convert in the red zone. They'll fumble on the 2-yard line. You got to like the Ravens with the -3.5. If it gets down to -3, I'm betting it. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. The Thanksgiving picks are up on a separate video. You can go find that. Also, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's get this money. And man, we've been hot, man. We've been hot. Cold weather outside, but the bets are sliding in hot.